Hello students, welcome back. Today is my second geography class with you, and in this class I am going to cover up the chapter drainage from your physical geography, India physical environment. Now in this chapter, the drainage system, we are going to learn about the various parts of a river, its catchment area and other things, the course of a river, etc. Now first of all, let us understand what is a drainage and what is a drainage basin. Drainage is the river. The channel through which water flows is known as its drainage. And what is a drainage basin? The river along with its tributaries and distributaries are known as the drainage basin. So the drainage refers to the flow of water through well-defined channel. And the network of such channel is called a drainage system. Sorry, not drainage basin. Drainage system is the channel, the network. That is the river along with its tributaries and distributaries. They are known as, that is known as the drainage system. Catchment area is, now next thing is the catchment area. What is a catchment area? Catchment area refers to the specific area where the water is collected and from where a river originates, right? Drainage basin is the area that is drained, the whole area which is drained by a river system or a drainage system is known as the drainage basin. Watershed is the boundary line which separates one river from another river. And then we have watershed and river basin. What is the difference between a watershed and a river basin? Watershed refers to the catchment area of small rivers or rills or rivulets, whereas river basins refer to the catchment area of large rivers. Now let us learn about the various kinds of drainage pattern. As in your book you will get to know, from your book you can know that there are three kinds of drainage pattern. One is the first is the dendritic pattern, the second is the radial pattern, trellis pattern and centripetal pattern. Now you can see the diagram of each of these patterns from your book. The dendritic pattern refers to it's like a branch of a tree. It resembles the branches of a tree. The examples are rivers of northern plain. Radial pattern, when the rivers originate from a hill and flow in all direction, that is known as radial pattern. The rivers originating from Amarkantak range is a good example. Trellis, when the primary tributary of a river flow parallel to each other and secondary tributaries join them at right angles, that is known as trellis. And finally you have centripetal, when the river discharge their water from all direction in a lake or depression. The pattern is known as centripetal. Now if you see here, the first one here is the dendritic pattern. It's like the branches of a tree. The pattern is more clearly shown here. It is like a branch, like the branches of a tree. Then you have the radial pattern. Radial pattern is the one when the water channels, they flow down a hill, then it forms a radial pattern. Then you have the trellis pattern. Trellis pattern, the branches or the tributaries, they meet each other at rectangles, that is known as the trellis pattern. And centripetal, I didn't get the picture of centripetal drainage system. It's when the river discharges their water from all direction in a lake or depression. So the river, it comes down, it falls into a lake or a depression. That kind of drainage pattern is known as the centripetal drainage. Now according to where the river is being drained, again we can divide the Indian rivers into two parts. One is the Arabian Sea drainage and the other one the Bay of Bengal drainage. The maximum of the rivers, Indian rivers, they drain into the Bay of Bengal. So nearly 77% of drainage of India belongs to this group. That is, they drain to Bay of Bengal. The Ganga, the Brahmaputra, Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari, they all belong to this group. That is the Bay of Bengal drainage group. Now we have the Arabian Sea drainage group. In this group, we have only 23% of the rivers. Small rivers like Mahi, Periyar, Tapi, Narmada, they fall into the Arabian Sea. and the only large river which falls into the Arabian Sea is the Indus River. Most of the river that falls in this group, they are seasonal rivers. They are the South Indian rivers, seasonal. They are not perennial. Other than the only river which is perennial or snow-fed, that is the river Indus, which falls into the Arabian Sea. Otherwise, most of the rivers, large river and all the snow-fed river, they fall into the Bay of Bengal river. Bay of Bengal ocean. I mean, the Bay of Bengal Sea, right? So this is one way we are classifying river, that is on which river, on which sea is it being drained, whether it is being drained in the Bay of Bengal or in the Arabian Sea. The other way in which we can divide the Indian rivers is on the basis of the size of their watershed. So the major river basins, this include only these rivers whose basins have a catchment area of more than 20,000 square kilometers. So if the catchment area of a particular river is more than 20,000 square kilometers, it falls under the major river basins. They are river Ganga, Brahmaputra, Krishna, Tapi, Narmada, Mahi, Periyar, Sabarmati and Bada. Other than that, medium river basin, these includes the river basin with a catchment area between 2,000 to 20,000 square kilometer. River Kalindi, Periyar, Meghna, etc. They fall in this group. Finally, we have minor river basin with a catchment area of less than 2,000 square kilometer fall in this category. There is no major river which falls in this category, right? Now, the third way in which we can divide the rivers is on the basis of the mode of origin and characteristics. The Himalayan river and the Peninsular river. As you know, the Himalayan river, they are the snow-fed river, and the Peninsular river, they are the seasonal rivers, right? The Himalayan rivers are perennial. The Peninsular rivers, they are seasonal. They have a larger and a bigger course, the Himalayan rivers, whereas the seasonal rivers, or the Peninsular river, they are smaller and their course is not so long. Himalayan rivers, in the Himalayan rivers, navigation is possible, but in the South Indian rivers, navigation is not possible because of their rocky terrain, right? They carry less water. The Peninsular river, they carry less water, and the Himalayan rivers, they carry a huge amount of the Peninsular river carry less water, and the Himalayan rivers, they carry a huge amount of water. And the Himalayan rivers have a longer course, whereas the Peninsular river, they have a shorter course. The Himalayan rivers, they form bigger deltas, and the Peninsular rivers, they form a smaller deltas. In the Himalayan rivers, the erosional activity is more. Now, what do you understand by erosional activity? When the river causes more erosion. Now, as you know, the Himalayan rivers they fall from a great height, as a result of which there is a lot of erosion, lot of things which are being eroded. And since the Peninsular river, they do not fall from a longer height, the erosional activity is less here. These rivers form the V-shaped valley, whereas the Peninsular river, they have a shallow valley. The river valley is not so deep, whereas in the Himalayan rivers, the cutting action is more because of the high velocity, high speed, and because of the fact they are flowing down a steeper slope. So the valley that they create, they are completely V-shaped valley, right? These rivers form V-shaped valleys, rapids and waterfalls. These rivers have shallow valley. The Peninsular rivers have shallow valley. The Himalayan rivers form oxbow lakes, meanders, floodplains. Now I'll explain you these things, these terms later. Just for the sake of knowing, that they form oxbow lakes, meanders and floodplain. Whereas in peninsular drainage, there is an absence of oxbow lakes, meanders and floodplains. Now let us do the Indus river system. It originates from the glacier near Bokhar Chu in the Tibetan region. Then in Tibet it is known as Singhi Kamban or Liar's Mouth because of its velocity and speed. Right, then it passes through Ladakh and Baltistan after flowing between Ladakh and the Zaskar range. It flows between Ladakh and Zaskar range, then it flows through Baltistan. It enters into Pakistan near Chiller. Then it receives a number of left bank tributaries like Shyok, Gilgit, the Zaskar, Hunza, Nubra, etc. The important right bank tributaries are Kabul, Tochi, Gomal, Sangar, etc. All of these right bank tributaries originate in the Suleiman range. Now after this the river flows southward and receives the Panjnad or the 5 rivers, that is the Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum. So these 5 tributaries join the main river. It finally discharges its water into the Arabian Sea. It flows in India only through the Leh district in Kashmir. I'll give you the notes of all these things, don't worry. Now the Jhelum. The Jhelum rises from a spring near the Pir Panjal range. It flows through Srinagar and Buller Lake and enters Pakistan, where it joins the Chenab river. And from the Chenab, it is the largest tributary of Indus, and it is formed by 2 streams, Chandra and Bhaga, which joins at Himachal Pradesh, and there it is known as the Chandrabhaga. So the Himalayas are, the Chenab are known as Chandrabhaga in the Himachal Pradesh region. Then it enters into Pakistan. Now the Ravi river, it rises west of the Rohtak Pass in the Kulu hills of Himachal Pradesh. Then it enters Pakistan, where it joins the river Chenab. Now the Beas, it originates from Beas Kund near the Rohtak Pass. After that it enters Punjab, where it meets the river Satluj. Then the course of river Satluj. The river Satluj originates in Rakas Lake near Mansarovar in Tibet. It flows almost parallel to Indus for about 400 kilometers before entering India, and finally it passes through the Shipla on the Himalayan range and enters the Punjab plain. It feeds the central system of the Bhakra Nangal project. So it is an important source of water for the Bhakra Nangal project. Now let us do the Ganga drainage system. The origin. First of all, where does the Ganga river origin? The river rises in Gangotri glacier. So the it originates from the Gangotri glacier near Gomukh in Uttarkashi district of Uttaranchal. Hence it is known as, here it is known as Bhagirathi. Now the Bhagirathi meets the Alaknanda at Devaprayag, and hereafter it is known as Ganga. So the Bhagirathi meets, the Bhagirathi and the Alaknanda, they meet together, and after that it is known as River Ganga. The Alaknanda originates in the Santopant glacier above Badrinath. It consists of Dhaldi and the Vishnu Ganga, which meets at Joshimath or the Vishnu Prayag. River Pindar also joins Alaknanda at Karna, while Mandakini or Kali Ganga meets at Rudra Prayag. Now Prayag means confluence. The place where 2 rivers join, they are known as the Prayag or the confluence, and after each confluence the river takes a new name. 2 rivers join and a new river originate. Now confluence are always considered to be something very holy in Indian mythology. The Ganga enters the plain at Haridwar and flows south, from where it splits into 2 distributaries, the Bhagirathi flowing towards the southeast and the Hooghly flowing towards the southwest. Now you must understand the difference between a tributary and a distributary. Tributaries are the channels which join the main river in its upper course in the mountainous region, whereas distributaries are the channels which divide from the main river in the lower course before it joins the sea. The tributaries add water to the main river, whereas the distributors, they reduce the volume of water from the main river, right? Now areas drained by Ganga are the Uttaranchal, UP, Bihar, West Bengal. It is the largest river system in India. Now the tributaries. Its right bank tributary, river Ganga's only right bank tributary is the Son river. There are many left bank tributaries. They are the Ram Ganga, Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak, Kosi, Mahananda. The river finally discharges itself into the Bay of Bengal. Now the river Yamuna. It is the westernmost and the largest tributary of Ganga. Yamuna is the largest tributary of Ganga. It has its source in the Yamunotri glacier, and after getting its water from Yamunotri, it flows down south and joins the Ganga. It is joined by the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, the Ken on its right bank, while the Hindan, the Rind and the Sengar, the Varuna join in its right bank. Now Chambal rises in Mo in the Malwa plateau of Madhya Pradesh and flows northward up to Kota in Rajasthan. From Kota, it traverses down to Bundi, Savai Madhopur, Dholpur, and finally joins Yamuna. It is famous for its badland topography called the riverines. Now, the ravines. The ravines are also known as badland. Badland are actually when you have soft soil, and if it rains, what will happen? There would be very small channels that will wash away the topsoil, right? These areas are known as the badland or ravines. So, River Chambal is famous for its badland. Now, Gandak. The Gandak rises in Nepal Himalayas between Dhaulagiri and Mount Everest. It comprises of two streams, the Kali Gandak and the Trishul Ganga. It enters the Ganga plain in Champaran district of Bihar and joins the Ganga at Sonpur near Patna. Now the Ghagra originates in the glaciers of Mapcha Chongo. After collecting the water of its tributaries, Tila, Seti and Beri, it joins the river Sarba in the plains and finally meets Ganga at Chapra. Right? Now the Kosi river, the Kosi has its source in Tibet where its main streams, the Arun, arises. It is joined by Son Kosi from the west and Timur Kosi from the east. It forms Sapt Kosi after uniting with the Arun. Now, students, there is nothing much to explain in this chapter. It only has names and where the rivers join each other. Nothing more here I need to explain you. Just go through the chapter very carefully, try understanding it, and it will be over. Now the Damodar flows across the eastern margin of Chota Nagpur plateau and joins the Hooghly river. Its main tributary is the Barakar. It is once known as the Sorrow of Bengal, but now it is tamed by Damodar River Valley project. The Sarda or Saryu, it rises in the Milan Glacier in Nepal Himalayas where it is known as Gori Ganga. It is known as Kali or Chowk where it joins the Ghagra. The Mahananda rises in Darjeeling Hills and joins Ganga as its left bank tributary in West Bengal. The Son, it rises in Amarkantak plateau. It joins Ganga at Ara in Bihar. Now Brahmaputra, it rises in the Chemyungdang glacier of Kailash range near Mansarovar lake. Its course it flows across Tibet where it is known as Sangpo, which means the purifier. Then it enters India in Arunachal Pradesh and receives its main tributaries which are Dibang, Sikang and Lohit, after which it is known as Brahmaputra. Right? So after Sangpo receives the tributaries of Dibang, Sikang and Lohit, then only it is known as the Brahmaputra. Its major left bank tributaries are Buri Dihang, Dhansari, Kalang, and the right bank tributaries are Subarnasiri, Kameng, Manas and Sankosh. The Brahmaputra enters Bangladesh near Dhubri and flows southward. Here it is joined by Tista. It finally merges with river Padma and drains into the Bay of Bengal. Now the Mahananda drainage, its sources are the highlands of Chhattisgarh. Areas drained are Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Orissa. The Krishna basin, its sources are near Mahabaleshwar. Its main tributaries are Tungabhadra, Koyna, Ghatprabha, Musi and Bhima. The Kaveri basin, its sources are Brahmagiri range of Western Ghats. Main tributaries are Amaravati, Bhavani, Hembati and Kabini. And the areas drained are Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Now the Narmada basin, its source is the Amarkantak hills in Madhya Pradesh. Areas drained are Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. Tapi basin, its source is the Satpura range in Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. And areas drained are Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Godavari basin, it is the largest peninsular river and is called by the name of Dakshin Ganga. It rises from the slopes of Western Ghats in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. And the areas drained are Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra. Main tributaries are the Purna, Wardha, Pranhita, the Manjara, Wainganga and Tenganga. This is all about the various river basins. Now other than that, there are various other small rivers like the Shatrunji, which rises near Dalkhawa in Amreli district. The Bhadra originates near Aniali village in Rajkot district. Dhandar Dhadar rises near Ghantar village in Panchmal district. Sabarmati and Mahi are the two famous, though they are small, but yet they are they are famous in Gujarat region. The Vaitarna rises from the Trimbak hills in Nasik district. The Kalindi rises from Belgaum district and falls in the Karwar Bay. The source of Betji river lies in Hubli Hardwar. The Sharavati is another important river in Karnataka flowing towards the east. So these are all about the small rivers. Goa has two small rivers which can be mentioned here. One is Mandovi and the other is Juari. Bharatpuzha is the longest river of Kerala and it rises near the Anaimali hills. It is also known as the Ponnani. Then the Periyar is the second largest river of Kerala after Bharatpuzha. Another river of Kerala is Pemba river, which falls in Vemobanad lake. And the small east flowing rivers are river Sugarnarekha, Baitadini, Brahmini, Vamsadhara, the Pennar, Palar, Vaigai, etc. These are the very small rivers, east flowing small rivers. This is all you have in this chapter, students. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you for attending the session. Goodbye.